January 29th, 1945, 2:47 in the afternoon, Holtzheim, France. One American soldier walks around a farmhouse corner. He comes face to face with around 90 German soldiers. His own men are already on their knees. A German officer presses a gun into his stomach and yells an order. The soldier doesn't understand German. Instead of raising his hands in surrender, he does something nobody expects. He starts laughing. What happens next takes less than 1 minute. 21 Germans will be dead. This moment would earn him the Medal of Honor. If you enjoy true World War II stories, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me tell you about Leonard Funk. He was born in 1916 near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He grew up poor in a steel town. His family didn't have much money. When the Great Depression hit America, things got even harder. There was no college for Leonard. Jobs were scarce everywhere. He took care of his family as best he could. Leonard Funk did not look like a hero. He was short. He was quiet. He seemed ordinary in every way. If you passed him on the street, you wouldn't think twice. But sometimes the most ordinary-looking people surprise us the most. War has a way of showing what's really inside someone. In 1941, Leonard Funk was drafted into the United States Army. The Army could have given him a safe job, maybe a clerk position, maybe something far from combat. But Funk made a different choice. He volunteered for the paratroopers. Let me explain what that meant. Paratroopers jump out of airplanes behind enemy lines. They fight surrounded by enemies. There's no easy way out. The training was absolutely brutal. Many soldiers quit during training. The physical demands were too much. The fear was too much. But Leonard Funk didn't quit. He pushed through every challenge. He stayed calm when others panicked. His fellow soldiers started to notice. This quiet man from Pittsburgh had something special inside him. He earned their respect by being steady and dependable. June 6, 1944. This was D-Day, the Allied invasion of Normandy, France. Leonard Funk jumped into France under heavy enemy fire. Bullets flew through the air around him. But his landing didn't go as planned. He came far from his unit. He injured his ankle when he hit the ground. Most soldiers would have hidden and waited for help. Funk kept moving forward despite the pain. He found other lost soldiers scattered across the countryside. Within hours, he was leading 18 men behind enemy lines. They spent 10 days fighting their way back to Allied positions. Every single one of those men survived. This proved something important about Leonard Funk. When chaos surrounded him, his mind stayed clear. When others froze in fear, he made decisions. This ability would save his life months later. September 1944, Holland. Funk's unit was fighting in Operation Market Garden. He saw German anti-aircraft guns firing at Allied gliders coming in overhead. Those gliders carried soldiers and medical supplies. If the guns kept firing, many Americans would die before they even landed. Funk looked at the situation. He had 3 men with him. The Germans had 20 soldiers defending those guns. The math didn't look good. Any reasonable person would have waited for backup. But Funk didn't wait. He led his 3 men in an attack against 20 Germans. They moved fast and hit hard. The guns were destroyed. The gliders landed safely. This showed a pattern in how Leonard Funk fought. He acted when others hesitated. He took risks that seemed crazy, but somehow worked. His commanders noticed this pattern too. December 1944, Belgium. Something terrible happened that changed how Leonard Funk viewed the war. SS troops captured 84 American soldiers near a place called Malmedy. The Americans had surrendered. They were prisoners of war. The Germans lined them up in a field and shot them all. This became known as the Malmedy Massacre. The news shocked the entire American army. When Leonard Funk heard about Malmedy, something shifted inside him.
He made a decision that day. He would never surrender to German soldiers. Never. He would rather die fighting than risk being executed as a prisoner. This choice seemed extreme to some people, but this choice would define what happened next in Holtzheim. January 29, 1945, the Alsace region of France. Funk's paratrooper unit was running low on soldiers. Many men had been killed or wounded in previous battles. Funk needed more fighters for the next mission. He turned clerks into riflemen. He turned cooks into soldiers. These men weren't trained for combat, but they were what he had. The unit marched 15 miles through deep snow. The cold bit through their uniforms. Finally, they reached the village of Holtzheim. They attacked and captured it. During the fight, they also captured 80 German soldiers. Now they had a problem. They only had 4 guards to watch 80 prisoners. Funk needed every other soldier fighting. He left the prisoners under guard in a farmhouse and went back to the battle. He didn't know danger was building behind him. While Funk fought at the edge of town, something went wrong at the farmhouse. A German patrol found the building where the prisoners were held. The 4 American guards were quickly overpowered. Around 90 German soldiers were now armed and free. They planned to attack Funk's unit from behind. If they succeeded, every American in Holtzheim would be killed or captured. Leonard Funk didn't know any of this. He walked back to check on the prisoners. He turned the corner of the farmhouse. What he saw made his blood run cold. His men were on their knees. Germans surrounded them with weapons ready.
A German officer stepped forward and shoved a pistol into Funk's stomach. The officer shouted at him in German. Funk didn't speak German. He didn't understand the words, but the meaning was clear. Surrender or die. The math was obvious. Around 90 Germans against 1 American. This was the turning point. Any normal person would have raised their hands. Any smart person would have surrendered. The Germans expected him to give up, but Leonard Funk started laughing. It wasn't a nervous laugh. It was a real, genuine laugh. The German officer looked confused. He didn't understand this reaction. For a few seconds, nobody moved. Everyone was frozen by surprise. Those seconds mattered more than anyone knew. Funk slowly reached toward his weapon. The Germans thought he was surrendering it. They thought he was being smart. But Leonard Funk had made his decision back in December. He would never surrender. Not after Malmedy. Not ever. Funk pulled his Thompson submachine gun up and fired. The German officer fell first. Chaos exploded in the farmhouse. Funk kept firing and reloaded with incredible speed. He shouted for his men to grab weapons. The American soldiers dove for guns. The Germans were caught completely off guard. Based on what we know about the fight, confusion spread through the German ranks fast. They had expected an easy surrender, but now they faced a battle. In less than 60 seconds, 21 Germans were killed. Many more were wounded. The rest threw down their weapons and surrendered for real this time. Leonard Funk survived without a scratch. His men survived. The surprise attack from behind never happened. One man's refusal to surrender had saved dozens of American lives. Leonard Funk was awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions that day. He became the most decorated paratrooper in all of World War II. When the war ended, Funk went home to Pennsylvania. He lived quietly. He helped other veterans adjust to normal life. He rarely talked about what happened in Holtzheim. The lesson from his story is simple. War doesn't reward the biggest or strongest person. It rewards clear thinking under pressure. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Subscribe for more incredible World War II stories. Comment below and tell me what you would have done in Funk's situation. Thanks for watching.